Hello again. Coming up on today's news show, we wrap up the race results from last week. Johan Bruyneel receives a 10-year ban. Jens Voigt has a book in the pipeline. We take a look at what's coming up on the channel, plus our GCN STRAVA club. We've got a tweet of the week from Alberto Contador. Tech news features an Voigt bike bag. Plus, all importantly, we wrap up the winners of all of our competitions from last week's show. The latest of the big one-day races took place in the Netherlands on Sunday in the form of Amstel Gold, and thankfully the winner this time was on our top 10 to watch out for video. Yes, Philippe Gilbert, who'd already won the Brabantse Pijl a few days previous, looks to be somewhere back to his best form, taking his third win at the event in dominating fashion. It was his teammate Samuel Sanchez who did the first attack at the foot of the final climb, and he was quickly followed by pre-race favourites Valverde, Gerrans and Kwiatkowski. However, none of them had an answer for Gilbert when he made his move, soloing to victory ahead of Jelle van der to Vlotto Belisol, with Simon Gerrans in third place. Those of you who watched last week's news show will remember that we had a big competition courtesy of Le Coq Sportif, with 5 pairs of entries to this year's Etape du Tour up for grabs. And the winners of that competition are Harry Brown, Austin Schaefer, Hugh Spacey, Andrew Green and finally Sindre Amundsen. Well done to all of you. Get in touch with us and we'll get in touch with you with details of the entry. 4 French Cup races took place over the last week, the first of those coming on Tuesday with Paris-Camembert. And it was Brian Coquard, the young French sprinter from Europcar, who took the win in a sprint. 2 days later we had the Grand Prix de Dinant. This race is often referred to as the French Sprinters' Championships, and as you might expect, it attracted a number of fast men. In the end it was Nasser Bouhanni, the former French champion from FDJ, who took the victory in a sprint ahead of Pelucchi of IM Cycling, with Francesco Chicchi in third place. On Saturday we had the Tour de Finistère, and it was Antoine Demoitier of Wallonie-Bruxelles who took the win there. And finally on Sunday, Adrien Petit of Cofidis won over the gravel roads of Trobriand. In the overall standings it is Julien Simon of Cofidis who leads, just 2 points ahead of Coquard. Last week's caption competition featured this photo from Taylor Phinney with 3 of his BMC teammates. And we had some great entries which we couldn't whittle down to one, so we've got 2 winners. The first of those is Stuart Fairhurst, who said this: "Ah! Who let Matt Stevens change my tubes?" And the second one was Inderblay, who said, "Who forgot to bring the beanbag?"
Remember to unclip your foot in readiness. This will avoid any embarrassing moments when you finally come to a stop. I missed the beanbag.
Well done to both of you. Get in contact with your address and we'll send you a bottle each. This week's competition is this photo, which was taken from the podium at the Amstel Gold race. And in women's racing it was Kirsten Wild of Giant Shimano who won yet again, this time in the Ronde van Gelderland, where she outsprinted Jolien D'Or of Lotto Belisol, with Melissa Hopkins of Orica AIS in third place. On to tech news now, and if you're planning on travelling abroad to cycle this year, then this could be for you. The Voigt Bike Travel Bag is for safely transporting road and mountain bikes on trips by plane, car or train. Within minutes everything is stowed away and packed safely for your trip. All you need to do is dismantle the handlebars, pedals and wheels. A road bike frame is placed on the stabilising bike stand inside the bag to increase stability when transporting it. The bag features 8 handles, 2 separate wheel compartments on the sides, 3 compartments for smaller parts, wide, stable, heavy-duty undercarriage with smoothly running skate wheels, lockable zips, and it is collapsible. We recently used the bags to transport all of our bikes to our Mallorca video shoot, so stay tuned for a how-to video on that soon. We've got yet another busy week of racing coming up, with the men's and women's Flèche Wallonne taking place, plus the last of the big one-day races of the spring, La Doyenne, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and finally the Giro del Trentino, the 4-day race where many Giro d'Italia hopefuls will be there to hone their form. And this time next week we will of course be bringing you all of the results. Belgian Johan Bruyneel has been handed a 10-year ban by the American Arbitration Association for his complicity involving a number of doping charges which took place whilst he was in charge of the US Postal and Discovery Channel teams. These charges fell in June of 2012 after a USADA investigation into the affair. Writing on his official blog, Bruyneel stated that he's debating what his next step should be in terms of contesting the ban, which would see him unable to participate in any aspect of the sport until 2022. So what's on the channel this week? Well, on Sunday we gave you a bonus video in the form of how to attack on a climb. On Monday we showed you how to fit Campagnola track cranks. On Tuesday it's of course this new show, but in the evening we've got a live hangout with British track stars Danny King, Joe Rousel and Laura Trott. And if you don't catch it live, you can catch up with it later in the week. On Wednesday we give you some coping strategies for if you're struggling on a climb, and on Thursday it's another double whammy. Top 10 riders to look out for at Liège-Bastogne-Liège and top 10 riders to follow on Twitter. On Friday we take you on a tour of the Physique factory over in Italy, and finally on Saturday we take a close look at the specialised Venge of Tinkoff Saxo. One of the most popular cyclists with fans, Jens Voigt of Trek Factory Racing, last week revealed on Twitter that he's got a book in the pipeline. He's not a man short of words, and apparently, according to his tweets, he's got to keep it to 250 pages, which could be quite hard. If there's any racing that you'd like to hear more about from Jens, or any particular stories that you'd like him to expand on, let us know in the comments section below and we will do our very best to pass them on to him. On to Strava now, and before we get onto our own GCN club, we've noticed that there's a certain Dutch rider who's been getting a lot of kudos on the site for a ride that he did from Compiègne to Roubaix a couple of Sundays ago. Yes, Nicky Terpstra of Omega Pharma Quickstep uploaded his winning ride from Paris-Roubaix, and it is quite impressive. If you want to take a close look at it, head to the link which is in the description below this video. Meanwhile, on our own Strava club there has yet again been some very impressive riding. The rider with the most amount of climbing this week is Matt Dowse, who has been busy training on Team Sky's favourite island of Tenerife, completing almost 25 uphill kilometres. Ken Jordan did the longest single ride with 970 kilometres, which we initially thought might have been a glitch, but it turned out that he had actually ridden from Edinburgh to London and had even lost 70 kilometres when he turned his GPS off. Meanwhile, the most distance ridden over the week was Gustavo Lyra with 1,124 kilometres, just beating our favourite Cycle Doctor 1. Finally, before we finish completely with Strava for the week, we've got the announcement of the winner of our Lecoq SPORTIF competition for this splendid cap. Congratulations Ian Shiel, this will be on its way to you as soon as you send us your address. Our tweet of the week comes from Alberto Constor, who posted this picture saying, "Showering one of my girls." For anyone wondering, one of his girls is a bike. "I still remember my mother scolding when I was doing it at home at age 16. That wraps up the news show for another week. We'll be back, of course, at the same time next week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our videos and share them with all your friends. If you're looking for cycling how-to videos, well, we've got a whole host for you here at GCN. You see this one? If not, click here.